Hey guys, it's Norman from Tested. I'm really excited today to show you a new camera from Sony. Now this is my old camera, it's the Sony NEX-C3. I've been using it for about 6 months now. I think it's my favorite mirrorless interchangeable lens camera. Today, Sony is announcing the NEX-F3, which is replacing the C3. I'm going to go over some of the changes. First off, the body looks a little different. When Sony first announced C3, they said it was the smallest camera, most compact camera with an APS-C size sensor. This is a little bit bigger. You can see it's a little wider, a little taller, and the grip is a little different, but it weighs about the same. It's only 30 grams more. So no longer the smallest, but still comfortable and still fairly light. The sensor is still an APS-C size sensor, but it's not the exact same sensor cut. It's a different processor, different sensor, 16.1 megapixels as opposed to 16.2, but in actually testing it, it's faster. Aside from the physical changes, viewfinder actually pops up all the way. In the NEX-C3, I love that the viewfinder can tilt, so if you want to shoot photos from above, you can tilt the viewfinder down, or you shoot photos from down low, tilt the viewfinder up. But with the NEX-F3, you can actually flip the viewfinder all the way up so you can shoot photos or videos of yourself. Now also, with the NEX-C3, the flash came with the camera, but is a separate accessory. The flash is now built into the NEX-F3. You just press a button right here, and flash just pops up. And there are settings on the menu, in the menus, for changing how you use the flash. That's pretty handy. It does still have the same port on top if you want to put the microphone accessory, which Sony sells separately. And also the NEX-F3 now takes the EVF that previously only worked on the NEX-5N and the NEX-7, which had the built-in EVF actually. So the NEX-F3 will come with the 18mm to 55mm 3.5 to 5.6 lens. They're no longer selling the kit with the 16mm lens, so if you got that with the NEX-C3, it'll still work. They're all E-mount lenses, and Sony is promising more lenses by 2013. Additional changes in the software. The menus definitely felt faster. Shooting pictures felt faster. That's because of the different processor and the different actual sensor on the inside. It also does video in full 1080p mode now. Previously, only the 5N did 1080p. You can do 1080p in 60i or even 24 frames per second, which is what I'm shooting right now. Surprise, I'm actually shooting this video on an NEX-F3. Along with the physical body changes of the new Sony NEX-F3, they've also relocated the shutter button. So as opposed to being on top of the camera, it's now closer to the camera grip. I found it a little more difficult to take photos using my thumb. It's a little easier to hold with your index finger and take photos using your index finger, but then my palm also hits the radial dial on the back of the camera a little more. So I'll do a little more testing with this, but the change of the shutter button isn't something I'm very happy with. One other change with the Sony NEX-F3 is that Sony's no longer including a separate battery charger with the camera, and that's because now the camera can charge over just mini USB. But if you have a Sony NEX-C3, that camera charger will still work because the new camera uses the same battery as the old cameras. So if you have old batteries from the Sony NEX-C3, you can pop that into the new one and it'll work. With new cameras, new sensor and processor, you'll get around 460 photos as opposed to the 400 photos that Sony says you can get with the Sony NEX-C3. We went out, we took some photos, so I have lots of more sample photos if you want to see more of those on tested.com. This camera I think is fairly exciting. It's replacing the NEX-C3, so they're not going to sell that anymore. It's launching in June for $599. The only difference now, big difference between this and the next step up, the 5N, is of course no touchscreen, but I prefer it using the viewfinder anyway. So more photos on tested.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll have more from Sony later. Bye.